Welcome to UTA News. I'm Catherine Williams.
And I'm Philip Childs. Thanks for joining us. Struggling and seeking help towards your math courses? Don't worry. Here's Tyrese Taylor with a story. Exams will be here before you know it. If you're struggling in math, reach out to the Math Clinic Coordinator in Pickard Hall, room 315.
The Maverick Activity Center is the hub for many things, including the weight room and basketball courts. But it is also a place where students come to worship. Here's Zaria Turner with the story.
One UTA Public Relations alumni is taking over the downtown Arlington food scene. His craft barbecue pop-up is attracting long lines on the weekends and is soon expanding to a permanent location. Gladys Pargas went down there to check them out. Hurtado Barbecue will be offering UTA students a discount once their brick-and-mortar location opens. You can follow them for updates and specials on their Instagram at Hurtado BBQ.
After eating all that barbecue, I'm sure you're going to need to work it off somehow. And to tell you how you can do that, we are going live to Miguel Luna. Thanks for that, Miguel. I'll be sure to get my yoga on.
Absolutely. When we come back, we'll have UTA softball star Brittany Wiley break down everything that has happened in UTA sports.
I'm Brittany Wiley, and this is UTA Sports. Welcome back to school, Maverick fans. Classes may have just begun, but the sports kept going, and I'm here to catch you up on what happened over the break. For women's basketball, the team opened up Conference 6-3, but lost key games to Coastal Carolina, Troy, and this past weekend to the winless Texas State. After that disappointing loss, the men's basketball team looked on to Saturday where they played Louisiana Monroe. Garrett Ritchie gives us the details on Saturday's exciting game. The Mavericks head to the Carolinas this week to take on Appalachian State and Coastal Carolina. Switching sports from the basketball court, the tennis courts this past weekend, the UTA men's and women's tennis teams each had 2 matches. The men's team had a doubleheader on Saturday morning. The men's team defeated UT Permian Basin by a score of 7-0. That's all for sports. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Brittany, for catching us up on UTA sports.
You can see them around campus on your walk to class. But where do the UTA Spirit Horses keep popping up from? Justin Hidalgo gives us that answer. The newest Spirit Horse is set to debut in front of the Health Services Building later this semester.
Man, I can't help but pet those horses every time I see one here on campus.
Absolutely.
For the duration of this month, many events will be taking place on the UTA campus in celebration of Black History Month. Linda Berry tells us one of the events she recently attended. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. I'm Philip Childs.
And I'm Catherine Williams. We'll see you next time. On this special edition of UTA News, we will be diving into the life of UTA students and their families during this COVID-19 outbreak.
We'll also give you an inside look into how several UTA students are still managing to do their jobs in school under the new COVID-19 restrictions.
Lastly, we'll see how UTA students are staying active and giving you tips on how you can do the same. UTA News starts now.
Welcome everyone, I'm Catherine Williams.
I'm Cassie Munoz.
And I'm Jonathan Garcia. Thank you for joining us.
While keeping social distancing in mind, our reporters are showing us how this COVID-19 outbreak has affected them. Garrett Ritchie tells us how he has spent his days at home so far and what about his life has changed. You know, the one thing Garrett failed to mention, I'm sure we're all curious about, is how many points did he put up in Madden? Someone else who was using fun and games is Mike Oliver and his family. Mike has spent time in quarantine with his family playing various games like Clue and Bunko, a game that he says he will never play again. When we come back, Cassie Munoz will show us how people are dealing with getting their work done while complying with a new city executive order. We'll be right back.
The city of Fort Worth and Arlington have put restrictions on everyone that affects both students and workers, many either making changes to their daily routine or not being able to work at all unless given permission. Kylan Riley shares with us how receiving that special permission has affected his work life. In the time since Kylan's recording, Tarrant County has extended the stay-at-home order until April 30th. Until a stay-at-home order is lifted, students will continue to do everything, including school and work, from home. Since UTA shut down campus, all students have moved to doing their work online. Tyrese Taylor is one of these students. Finding balance between work and school while practicing social distancing has not been easy, but students are finding ways to stay motivated. Scarlett Eladio, who's also practicing social distancing, shows us everything she's doing in order to stay up to date with all of her online classes. Not all UTA students who are doing their work from home are from this area. Brittany Wiley, who is also a member of the UTA softball team, is from California and is also under similar quarantine guidelines. She shares with us how she and her family have continued their work in their Golden State. Back here in Texas, as we continue the theme of working through the coronavirus, Edie Barcenas shows us how people in our community are dealing with working their jobs while staying safe from the COVID-19 virus. For one of our reporters, there has been a lot of changes impacting her life, and there's some major changes that could affect her work classification. Here's Gladys Vargas showing what she has seen and will experience. When we come back, we'll show you how some UTA students have chosen to do just that.
How exactly can you pass the time while taking part in social distancing? Well, our very own Justin Hidalgo shows us how. To learn more on how to practice social distancing or gather information on COVID-19, you can visit cdc.gov. Next up, we're going to take an inside look as to what exactly our reporters are doing to stay busy. Let's start with Dana Gibbs. With all of this craziness, uncertainty is normal. And with uncertainty comes faith. Finally, how does a working family tackle a pandemic? Well, let's take a look inside my home and find out. That's all the time we have on this edition of UTA News. I'm Jonathan Garcia.
I'm Cassie Munoz.
I'm Catherine Williams.